Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai. Then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Finding the right real estate professional can be challenging. I'm broker Melissa Wilson. I'm knowledgeable in all aspects of the real estate process. So whether you're looking to buy new or an existing home or have a commercial need, I'm here to help.
Let's stop acting like we don't see how this game is played. If you tired of folks throwing shade with a smile and keeping you boxed in with that slick behind-the-scenes racism, it's time to upgrade your survival skills. See, Phillip Scott dropped more than just knowledge. He handed you a playbook with passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy. This ain't the in-your-face kind. This is that sneaky, office space, let me block your blessings type of racism that'll have you questioning your own reality. It's time to call it what it is and arm yourself with the facts. But baby, don't stop at just peeping the system. Break those mental chains too. That's why you need 7 steps to decolonize the mind. This is about freeing yourself up top, walking in confidence, and letting the world know your mind is not for rent, lease, or layaway. It's time to reclaim your power step by step. So don't just watch, take action. Click over to Amazon.com, type in passive-aggressive racism in the system of white supremacy and 7 steps to decolonize the mind, and secure both books for yourself, your crew, and anybody ready for that mental liberation. La Sherika said it, now go do it. Invest in your freedom. Pick up both books today on Amazon.com. Trust me, your mind will thank you.
After 13 years of exposing lies in the media, I discovered the biggest lie of all. They want you to think racism is random, accidental, just bad people doing bad things. But what if I told you anti-black racism was engineered, programmed like software, marketed like a product, and designed to survive across generations? That's exactly what I prove in my new book, Us versus the Machine, How Anti-Black Racism Was Programmed, Marketed, and Made to Survive. This isn't another book about what racism looks like. This is the blueprint of how it was built, who profits from it, and most importantly, how to dismantle it. I spent years connecting dots that they never wanted connected, following money trails that they thought were buried, exposing the machine that runs on our oppression. Knowledge is power, but strategic knowledge is liberation. Get Us versus the Machine on Amazon today, because once you understand the system, you can beat the system.
In H-Town, we want news that speaks truth, just like we do.
ADNC keeps me informed and him inspired.
We've been through too much to trust mainstream media. This feels like us.
From the D to the diaspora, ADNC is how I stay woke.
We binge ADNC like it's Netflix, but smarter.
They speak on us, but never for us. ADNC does.
No fluff, no filters, just the truth, daily.
From Wall Street to 125th, we're watching our news.
Download the African Diaspora News Channel app today to stay connected to the culture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. Let me do the hand clap. I ain't done that since the last time. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click the like button. Hope all is well. It is November the 10th. It's almost mid-month. And yes, I'm a little congested, but I was fighting all week last week. I was just fighting a cold, congestion, but hey, I'm feeling a lot better. Excuse me. But I'm here. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. So tonight we're going to talk about this government shutdown. The Democrats, boy, they didn't caved, and boy, a lot of the other Democrats are pissed off, and they talking about they want Chuck Schumer primaried, and oh boy, there's a lot of drama with these people. So we definitely gonna get into that tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a shout out to everybody on various platforms. Thank you for downloading the African Diaspora News Channel app, and those who have supported us all year on the app, whether you've done it monthly, quarterly, or annual or lifetime. Now, we'll do some announcements. As of January 1, the quarterly membership is going to go away, but if you have it already and you just keep up with it, you'll basically keep it. But if you let it go, then you have to get we're going to switch this to monthly, annual, and lifetime. That we need to simplify what we got going on, right? Too much going on. And so we're going to do that by January 1, just letting people know that. Also, we will be having I think the week of Cyber Monday, we'll have that, for the annual, like we do almost every year, 50% off of the annual for that week, with a coupon code. So that'll be coming up, should be for December 1 through 7. And that'll be that. If you like the quarterly, jump on it before January 1. And that's that, while we're still in the process of going to 2.0 on the app. And I think y'all gonna like the upgrade for sure from everything we're gonna be putting in it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me check in with y'all. I'm gonna look over here and I'm just trying to see what y'all got going on here. Let me ask y'all some questions though before we get started. Some questions. All right, so y'all got to watch the platform for the year, and let's say I always check in with y'all. Temperature checks, stuff like that, and y'all tell me. Okay. So, like I have been doing the streams Monday through Friday around 7 p.m., 7:15, whatever. Do y'all like me to continue to do that, or do y'all like me to do more than that? Like maybe just do this or pre-records on top of that, or I'm cool with this. Now and y'all tell me, okay? I want y'all opinion, because y'all help guide the show for me. I kind of just cover U.S. news, and I kind of backed off of covering some things in the continent. But sometimes people want to hear my opinion on some of that. So y'all give me kind of like, what would y'all like to see me do, here? Because I've been doing kind of one thing for a while. You may like it the way I'm doing it. So, y'all let me know, give me y'all opinions. I like to know that, because y'all watch, and I want to keep y'all engaged as much as possible. So y'all just let me know, kind of like what y'all looking at, now rather unique say keep it the same. Some people saying they say, I'm looking, some people say more content, is always better. Some people say keep it the same. They seem like how it is. Well, Salam, let me tell you something. No, it's about viewer satisfaction. If the viewers aren't satisfied, then you got to change up with some things. It's kind of like any business. If no matter what you offer in the public, you got to check in with the public, because it may be something they want you to do that you're not doing, right? And so you got to check in with the public, make sure they're cool. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they hate what you're doing. It's just like, oh man, maybe if you do this or maybe do that, and you can look into it, right? So that's all. It's just temperature check. That's it. I with interviews, I definitely got to get back to doing that. I just want to make sure I interview the right people and not just interviewing anybody. But yeah, I haven't interviewed a lot of people in a while. But definitely I can get back to doing that. You say 2 hours. With all the stuff I got going on, I can't do 2 hours. And research wise, the reason why I kind of stick to an hour is because research wise, you'll have a higher probability of people watching the replay when it's 45 minutes to an hour versus 2, 3, 4, and 5 hours, right? And then y'all have to also understand I'm doing other things, like we're doing AfroWire, doing the podcast. It's so much going on, right? It's not like it used to be. I only did this channel and that was it. No, we have a lot going on. Let's see here. They say Friday open phone lines. Yeah, I used to do that at times, and which I don't mind even on the app doing that either. But because you never know who may come up or what they may show. Now on the app, I don't care what you show almost, because like I'm not worried about it. But here you got to be careful. Some people say like when they came on the platform together and hold a topic discussion. Okay, all right. Well, like I said, some people liking the Monday through Friday, and like I said, I'm just taking it all in. All right. And that's that. Now let's go ahead on and get into what we talking about. We got to learn about these Democrats. All right, let me start off here. And then we're gonna work tonight. We're gonna work and talk about these Democrats. Give me a second. Okay. All right, these 8 senators broke with the Democrats on the government shutdown deal. Now, what did they do? Now, excuse me. Here's my problem. Excuse me. What do you see here? What do you see here with this? Like, tell me what do you see from this picture? Let's see if y'all gonna figure out what I'm seeing. Right? What do you see here from these 8 photos? Is there anything that y'all notice with these 8 photos? Crystal says she sees 8 stooges. Okay, what else do you see from these 8 photos? Dre say you see some old folks. Okay. All right. Some people say old in the folks. Some people say idiots. Some people say crazy looking people. Some people say over the hill gang. Some people say the clear people. Okay. All right. Everybody just keeps saying, okay. All right. Well, here's my issue. Yes, some of it is what y'all talking about. The age thing, but that's not really what I'm focused on. These 8 people don't represent America. What I mean by that is this. America is not predominantly, you look at this, the whole of America, it's not predominantly white anymore. It's not. If you look at how many black people are here, whether you're black American, black immigrant, if you look at Asian people, Hispanics, if you look at East Indians, Pakistani, you look at all these different groups of people, America is an extreme melting pot. And when you just see all these photos of just nothing but literally white, that's rigged, and I have an issue with America not being represented. I've always had an issue with that. And that's why you had the problems that you have. You have one group of people trying to dictate for many groups of people. That's number one, okay? Now, they say that these senators in total face an instant blowback from the Democrats. They all broke rank, and they say and voted to allow the Senate to move forward on compromise legislation that would reopen the government. They say their decision Sunday night was labeled a betrayal and pathetic by some of the most prominent voices in the Democrat Party. They say, to my mind, this is a very, very bad vote, said Senator Bernie Sanders, a Vermont independent who caucused with Democrats. He said a group of defectors consisted of several senators who are retiring next year, or as a number of former governors. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson of Louisiana praised them Monday, saying they decided to put principle over their personal politics. They say the senators surely knew the criticism was coming, but after huddling for hours, often in the Senate basement over the last week, each senator reached the same conclusion. It was time for the government shutdown to end, okay? So, this lady here, Senator Shaheen here, she took the lead negotiating and all of that. That was her. So that, you look at these people, Dick Durbin, I think he was one supposed to be retiring. I think he out of Illinois. You know, Tim Kaine, that was supposed to be Hillary Clinton's VP. Remember him? He was part of it. All these people here, now it's not really so much what they saying. I don't care, because they came out explaining, okay? But let me get to what I got to say about all of this, okay, with the Democrats. Okay, now there's a lot of Democrats that are pissed, and rightfully so, I understand, because why did you wait 40 freaking days to do this? If you was going to fold, you should have just did it from the beginning and not shut down the government. Why do you put people that, you know, definitely I know, some of you know, who are government employees, why you put them through not getting paid? Why did you put all the people through not getting their SNAP benefits? Why did you put them through all that if you were just going to go it on and cave to the Democrats? Okay? So, I'm sorry, to Republicans. So, you play games with people for about 40 days, and people not getting their SNAP as they supposed to. The government shutdown is still not over as of yet, but you know, we know how that's going to end. And on the healthcare subsidies, you agreed for a promise of a vote. Well, you know what Mike Johnson said today in the House? He's not promising to take up a vote in the House. So basically, you got nothing for doing all that. You got nothing. Okay. Why? I keep wondering, why did you do it? If you're going to stand on business for something, you stand on business for it. Now, some people could say, let's go both sides. Well, you know, they're probably getting pressure from their people in their state, and they're not getting their checks and the SNAP and all of that. That's maybe why they did it. Once again, if you wasn't going to go through with it, and actually people voted for him in the last election, right? So clearly, some people wanted them to do what they were doing, and yet this happens. Now, what does this say to, now I'm going to talk to younger voters or younger potential voters. You have to understand, let me put that picture back on the screen so y'all can really look at the problem in America. This is the problem. Let me go back up here. This is the problem. I'm not talking about their political party, but I'm talking about that group right there and all who they represent. That's the problem. That's a generation of people. And Fetterman, he wants to be a Republican. He might as well go over there. But this is the problem. You have all these people who don't represent the majority of the people who actually is living this life. All these people are rich. A lot of them are geriatric, okay? They're running your government. And you know whose fault it is? It's not even their fault. It's not their fault. You know, because people want to point at their age and say this about them and say that about them. Even Republicans too. It's both of them. No, y'all gonna have to take personal responsibility. I'm talking about younger people. You're gonna have to take personal responsibility because these people are keep getting back in there because y'all not running more candidates that's against what they choose to do. Now, the Mamdani guy out in New York, let's talk about him. Now, some people said they voted for him because they said, shoot, what we've been doing ain't been working. You might well try the democratic socialism. Let's see what that do, right? Kind of like, well, hey, what could it hurt? That's a little different, right? And I'm not against the guy. I'm not against him. I don't know what he gonna do. I'm not in New York. Now, a lot of folks are against the guy. Talking about, oh, he's a socialist and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. Oh, my God. And, you know, and so now I'm paying more attention to him because, you know, I'm a firm believer what Malcolm X have always said is that Malcolm X said, if they love you, if they love anybody, run away from them. And if they hate anybody, you might want to look at them and run to them. So I want to find out why they hate Mamdani so much. I want to see why. I want to see. They can't stand the dude, right? Y'all gonna have to do something about this country. That's like my sermon tonight. Yes, it's a sermon. Y'all gonna have to do something about this country. Y'all have to stop being so lazy. And if you talking about now, I'm gonna talk to Black Americans tonight. Black America, a lot of you run around here telling people that you built the country, and you getting on Black immigrants, and you getting on every immigrant out there. Okay, cool. Well, you're going to have to show up like Obama numbers to change this country. I know it's not only just you, But you know that, unfortunately, things won't change unless we change it. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Other groups can never be dependent upon to change nothing in this country. But here's the thing. We got to start running more candidates, and we got to come out to vote like Obama numbers to get more candidates for our agenda. Now, my opinion, traditional Democrats, traditional Republicans don't work. I believe affordable health care conversation, that's gone. That's gone. You cannot trust affordable anything. The only health care that I'm willing to really go for now is universal health care. I've been saying I believe in universal health care. I believe in universal child care. I've always believed in that because this government go spend $40 billion in Argentina but can't give you health care. You go give billions of dollars to the state of Israel every year, but you can't give nobody universal health care? I'm sorry, universal child care? You got money for weapons, you got money for USAID, you got money for everything, but you can't do nothing for the citizens? You mean tell me you can't raise the minimum wage to $15? Come on now. You can afford it. You find money for whatever the hell you want to find money for. But it goes back to y'all as registered voters are choosing not to sit out. There's times to sit out. Trust me, it is. Then there's times not to. You can't complain about people that should be in visiting angels, okay, or Shady Pines. You can't complain on them when you just sitting at the crib and not trying to get the people in there, the younger people in there, and trying to show up and vote for them. It don't make sense when you got a city like New York. That's a city of 8 million people. Mamdani got about 1 million votes or so, right? And I think the other ones got whatever they got. But a city of 8 million people, and that's how many votes, that's how many people showed up to vote. I mean, in a lot of world, that's a lot of people. But still, you have to participate. You got to say, hey, we want to change. We don't want these candidates talking about affordable health care because affordable, clearly they screwed that up. So now you got to only vote for candidates who want universal health care. How is it our neighbor up north, Canada, they got universal health care? They're not worried about, I got to pay a premium. Prime example. So shout out to Sister Emma. Sister Emma, we was all kind of talking about that. She had an issue she needed to take care of health-wise. She took care of it. She walked in, did what she had to do. She walked out. No bill. She had to worry about her credit getting messed up because she couldn't afford it. She had to worry about thousands of dollars coming out her household because, she got to pay healthcare premium and healthcare insurance. She walks in to do what she got to do. She walked out. Of course, it's not no healthcare system is perfect. Don't get me wrong. They all got the issues, but that's one bill that Emma and Canadians don't have to worry about coming out their back pocket. The brothers and sisters in the UK, they don't have to worry about that. There's many countries that got universal health care. And y'all as citizens let these politicians, which are 400 some odd members of the House, 100 senators, and a president, try to dictate for 300 some odd million people about your health care. That don't make sense. When the majority of America would say, you want free health care? Most of them will say, yeah, I want that because I can't pay for that mess. If this government could sit up here and fund the military every year, then surely they can also fund health care for the people. But once again, hold on. Who's saying that? Who's saying that? Who's saying that? You say Europe has very good healthcare plans? Okay. But y'all have to promote that. Y'all have to go for that. Because clearly you cannot trust the Democrat Party with affordable. You can't, because it's not affordable. When Obama and the Democrats first did that, if they wanted affordable health care, they should have put the subsidies and whatever. Matter of fact, they could have did universal health care. Forget affordable. They could have did universal health care. The insurance industry in this country robs us blind. Medical insurance robs us blind. Car insurance robs us blind. Home insurance, all these insurance companies rob us blind. We be paying for years on these on those insurance companies, and a lot of times don't even use it. Look at your car insurance. Car insurance is higher now than it's ever been. At my age, right now, my car insurance should be cheap. I'm married. I'm over 40, right? I don't have no accidents on my record, a bunch of tickets on my record. Neither do my wife. I don't have no teenagers driving on my plan. I should be saving a lot of money right now. But yet, insurance keep going up and up and up and up and up every year. It's a scam. The insurance companies is a freaking scam. And then the governments are in bed with the insurance companies because they're like, oh, you got to have insurance to drive. Now, I get the liability insurance part. I actually do. But why do it keep going up for? Why? And then if I cancel my plan, I never used it. How come I don't get no money back? I can't even get 50% of my money back. I didn't have an accident, so why can't I get at least 50% of my money back? So I can sit up here and give you money for 20 or 30 years, never have an accident, and you just collecting bag off of me. Healthcare the same way. Let's say if you don't use it. And then if you start using it because something happened to you, you know, you got limits and all this other stuff. Like, wait a minute. You ain't been sick in 12 years. But the 13th year, you didn't have some challenges. And now you got problems. All that stuff, the healthcare cartel is a scam. And y'all as American people, I'm talking about Black American, all people who will be listening, because I know a lot of people listen, not just Black people. If you're not pushing universal health care at this point, think about it. If you had universal health care, you wouldn't be worrying about no $2,000 bill coming out your back pocket or not having nothing at all. Think about that. Forget a $400 premium. Think about a no premium, zero. Think about the insurance company as being gone. Now, some of you are going to have to go to become cash patients. And which is okay. But being a cash patient, you can actually save money sometime. You know, they have a thing called direct primary care. If you ever heard of that before, let me give you an example. What direct primary care is. Look it up, but I'll give you one doctor just real quick here in Houston that does direct primary care. So this is a doctor here in the Houston area called lilyprimarycare.com. And so basically she is a direct primary care doctor. She does not accept insurance. And so because they don't accept insurance, you get more time with the doctor and all of that. Okay. So it's kind of let you know, meet the doctor and all of that. But here's the point I want to talk about here. So you get a membership with what's called DPC, Direct Primary Care. So if you want unlimited primary care, at least from Dr. Adesola here, it's $150 a month. Okay, so it includes everything they say in the weight, if you want it outside of weight management. So unlimited primary care visits, a sick visit, wellness exams, direct extended access to your physicians via call and text, baseline lab work included, quarterly embodied body, everything she's got HRT, especially if you're dealing with perimenopause or menopause, so you get that as part of it. The management of chronic conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer screenings, and discounts on imaging and all of that. So you can actually pay per month $150 for direct primary care per person, right? And there's a lot of doctors, if you look on TikTok, there's a lot of doctors that are really promoting direct primary care, and I'm going to tell you why. because the insurance companies don't pay these doctors or the hospitals. Well, really, they supposed to be getting paid. And the insurance companies mess over the hospitals and the doctors. So a lot of times the doctors have to see so many patients just to get paid right because they don't pay them like what they're supposed to get paid. So some doctors have been going to this direct primary care model. If you need, let's say, prescriptions, say, what about my prescriptions? You know, you can use a thing called GoodRx. You could pay at least $9 and you can get discounts on GoodRx. I've used that before, GoodRx. So I know it works, right? Just trying to give people options just in case you cannot afford no $2,000, no $2,500. Okay? Because some people can't afford that. That's a freaking house note. That's expensive for these insurance companies. The Democrats have screwed you over. So now you got to think, okay, what I'm going to do? And as black people, we've always figured it out. We say, okay, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Because I still want you to go to the doctor. I still want you to get checked out. I want you to not avoid anything. What I'm saying is there's always a way. But in the process, you got the midterms coming up. It's going to have to be a movement of people. And I'm talking about definitely you got the Gen Z, you got millennials, and I'm also talking to Gen X too. I'm part of Gen X. Y'all going to have to start pushing universal health care, period. F these Republicans and these Democrats with this affordable crap. The Republicans don't care about nobody because they all in bed with the rich people, and that's cool. The Democrats are in bed with the rich people too, but you're going to have to push universal health care. The government going to have to serve the people. If Canada has it, if the UK and many other European countries has it, then how come the United States cannot have it with I think the GDP, I forgot what the price was. I just saw it. I don't want to misquote. Let me find out what the GDP of the United States is versus Canada. Give me a second. I don't want to misquote the GDP of the countries. Give me a quick second. Let's see. What is the GDP of the USA versus Canada? Okay. All right. Let's see. Give me a second. I want to make sure I quote the right thing. I don't want to give y'all nothing wrong. Okay. All right, so our GDP is $30.5 trillion as of 2025, and Canada's is $2.24 trillion, and yet they have universal health care. So our GDP swallows them completely. And this is why so many countries won't enter the U.S. market too, because of our GDP. So how come we don't have universal health care? And y'all sit here and let politicians tell you we can't afford it. That is the biggest lie ever, and y'all believe it. And especially some of you silly people who live in a rural area. I'm talking about some of you folks. Y'all silly to repeat that. We can't afford that. Yes, we can. Yes, we can afford whatever we want to afford. If you can afford Trump's new ballroom, you can afford universal health care. If you can afford sending money to Argentina, you can afford universal health care. Oh, yeah, we can afford it. We sure can. Look, I will say this. Okay, raise up the minimum wage to $15 an hour in the SNAP program. I'll say that too. Want to save money to get more money into universal health care? In the SNAP program, yeah, if you raise up the minimum wage to $15, then there's no need for a SNAP program, right? You can actually afford to feed yourself at $15 an hour and up. I mean, because I don't think SNAP should be forever, but I think universal health care should be. I think universal child care. Think about it. If you have a child and this country wants y'all to have babies, these Republicans want you to have babies, right? I saw somebody put up a sign that say Republicans are pro-birth, but they're not pro-life, because pro-life means universal health care, universal child care, taking care of these children, right? Think about it. If you didn't have to worry about child care costing you freaking $2,000, their parents are paying $1,000, $2,000 a month for freaking child care. So if you didn't have to worry about child care at all, the government paid for that. You can go to work, no problem. Hey, that way people can start businesses. They know they're going to get paid because, hey, the government paying me. I'm cool. I can have my daycare center and all of that, right? These churches, it should be a requirement for them to have a daycare center, child care center. if you want to say 501c3. You should not be able to have as a church a 501c3 and you don't have a child care center. What are you doing? You have to do something in the community. Why are you tax free? See, I couldn't be up there because I'd be like, no, I'm about to cut all y'all off this tax free. What are you doing in your local community? Why should you be tax free? What are you giving back? Because you collecting, excuse me, you collecting from the people, but you're not giving back to the people. Trisha says $15 an hour can barely feed one person. What, Trisha, what are you eating? $15 an hour is minimum wage. Look, Trisha, let me say something, Trisha, to you. The issue, Trisha, and a lot of y'all, is that see, a lot of y'all don't believe in what the Lord say do. And see what the Lord says is he created man, and he realized that, he says that it's not good for man to be alone, so he created woman to be his helpmeet. Your problem, Trisha, is this. The way things are going, being single not going to work. See, a lot of y'all thought grandma and grandpa didn't know no better. Trisha, if you had two people in the household making $15 an hour, it's $30 an hour. You can do a lot more at $30 an hour in the house than 15. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. And who want to stay at $15 an hour anyway? Should you be striving to go to 20, 25, 30? I mean, we shouldn't be want to stay at $15 an hour, right? But I think $15 an hour is a good benchmark because we can't be at $7.25. That's not going to work. No, the fact is, y'all going to have to get with each other, get married again, and build families again. Because all this being single y'all doing, it's not working. You having to move back into your mama house. I seen a 34-year-old woman on TikTok today talking about she had to move in with some roommates because she can't make it. But I said, if she had a husband, and her and that man worked together, I guarantee you she wouldn't be staying in no roommates. She'd be in her house with her husband. You may not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. Two working together is way better than one. And let me tell y'all something about these other groups, black folk. The reason why some of these other groups are passing, some of us, not all, is because these other groups come in family units. Or they believe in marriage. And the only reason I know this, because I see them. I see them constantly and how they move, especially in the area of marriage. All this being single stuff, just I ain't trying to get married. I ain't done. Okay, well, don't complain when you're struggling. You need to work together. Black folks from the plantation, at least all the way up to the 1970s, 80s, always worked together, always married, and all, understand? And now you're brand new. You think you know better. I ain't trying to be married. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Okay. Well, how's that working out for you? Statistically speaking, it's not working out. I go by statistics. I don't care about nobody's feelings. I'm talking about what the statistics say about our children, about the men, and about the women. Everybody's so quick to go file for a divorce. So we're talking about statistics. Women are more quicker to file for divorce than men. If a woman's college educated, she'll file for divorce 90%. Men do not file for divorce like that. We're talking about just reality. It's going to get harder and harder and harder. You're going to realize, some are realizing, that you're going to have to work with each other. Period. And you don't have to work with each other. You don't have to. But those who are working together with a man and a woman and a family, they're going to be okay. Prime example, the government employees right now. Let's say one government employee is working and the other spouse is working. They're not getting paid. Okay. One not getting paid, but the other spouse is working and they got some money coming in. Versus if that government employee is by themselves, don't have nobody at all, they have no money coming in. Period. Nothing. That's why you want to have a man and a woman together. Right there. Now, both of them work for the government. Well, okay, you know. But a lot of times that's usually not how it is. Like Eric said, it's just the best way as Father God said. That's right. You know. Well, Rhonda, listen, nobody's talking about abuse, infidelity, the drug use. Listen, nobody's talking about that. There are legitimate things where it makes sense. But people do this for, well, I'm bored. I'm not happy. People have all these different things they say, right? And when you take vows, it's say for better or worse. That means you're going to have some worse times. Oh, they coming. And then you're going to have some better times. You think grandma and grandpa always were happy about everything? No. There are times that grandpa wasn't happy, and there's times grandma wasn't happy. But then, you talk to them, if you had a chance to talk to them, and they figure it out. That's life. We all got to figure it out, but we got to work together. All this being single and being outside stuff and, what, don't they get old? How much going out you gonna do? Like, you want to be, who said this other day? I think Lil Yachty said this other day. And he a young man that realized something. He was talking to another young man. And he said, yeah, you get to a point where the girls are around you. You start realizing are they there for you or for the money. He said, but then you start realizing them kind of girls there for the money. He said, you're not really building no memories with nobody. And he, young men like that trying to realize that. Yeah, because just randoms, that don't mean anything. It don't mean nothing. Miss Fletcher says it's too much cheating out here. Miss Fletcher, not every woman cheats and not every man cheats. Okay. You have to learn how to pick people based on their morality. When people, let me tell you something, the cheating, that's just a lying spirit. That's a lying spirit. If a person lies for one thing, they'll lie for something else. That's just the heart of it. It's a lying spirit. It's a character flaw. And if you can't pick, and that's why you're supposed to pray and say, God, help me see through this person. Are they a good person? Are they moral? A person that has morals or whatever, they don't want to do that. So no, not everybody out here is cheating. That's not true. You say, how is the Amish paying for their health insurance? I don't know. I don't study the Amish like that. But the Amish is doing okay. But the Amish work together. And there's black people that do work together. I'm not saying that we all don't work together, but I'm just saying that all this, I just want to, be single type of stuff, it's just not going to work with this economy. And maybe, just maybe, because some of y'all have said for a long time, well, as black people, we need to get together and we need to build our community. Well, have you ever thought that maybe God is allowing this to happen just so that you can build your community? Have you ever thought that God may be allowing the suffering and the pain for you to say, you know what? Yeah, all this being separate not going to work. Let's build our community again. You never know. Sometimes God is answering your prayer. But sometimes, let me tell you about black folk. You do better under struggle. I know you. You do better under pressure. When you're given too much leeway and too much ease, that's when you start going all off the deep end, and you're here, you're there, you're doing this, you're doing that. But when that pressure come on you, you usually get straight. At least from my observation. Raina, who wants to have a roommate when they 30, 35? I'm sorry, I would want to do that. No. Who wants to do that? Sorry, who wants to do that? Now, of course, nobody can make you do what you don't want to do. Of course, live your life, okay? Live it. But reality speaking, the way God intended, he intended man and woman to be together. He didn't. If God in his wisdom thought being single was okay, woman would have never been created. Think about that. If God himself said it's not good for man not to be alone, then why in the world would he look at a woman and come on now? Think about that. If it's not good for a man to be alone, how is it better for you as a woman? Well, some women say they don't need men. Yeah, you do. Because if men drop the ball and take away all the entitlement programs that's in America and leave you to your own vices, then you're going to be vulnerable. Women are extremely vulnerable in every society if men just drop the ball at maintaining a society. It's just the truth. If there's no law enforcement and criminals are allowed to just run supreme, right? Women are going to be the first one that's vulnerable to criminals. If the politicians don't enforce laws, women are going to be more vulnerable than any other group. Let's call it, we talking about reality. And if God said that man don't supposed to be alone, supposed to have his own woman, and if man's job is to protect, every woman should have her own man that protects her. Now, you don't have to believe what I say. I'm just talking about what the intention was. Now, you can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. But you can't escape how God set it up. I don't care what you say. You can't escape it. You don't have to do, like I say, your life, do what you want to do, live how you want to live. I'm just telling you the way I see it going. You're never gonna be able to live. You might leave your mama house if that's the case. Well, it's the thing. Well, man, mama, you think mama don't want her house back? Or some of you moving back to mama house, you think like mama was like, well, man, like you back? You know what I'm saying? Of course, mama and daddy may not be mad at you, but like that's one thing. I grew up in a generation you didn't want to be in your mama house. You did not want to be in your mama house for nothing. I never want to be underneath nobody else's roof but my own. And Mike says, I seem out of touch to what's going on. I'm not out of touch. Not out of touch of anything. No, the fact is, a lot of you are wayward. You have gotten away from God. You think you know better. And you think that, oh, I'm going to be out here just sleeping with this one and that one and whatever. And I don't want to be responsible. And because people have gotten wayward from the Lord, you're doing whatever you want. And so God's way don't seem right to you. But you don't understand why your life could be in calamity. That's all. No. I see very well what's going on in society. I'm not out of touch. Not out of touch at all. But like I say, do you. Do whatever you think works for you. I can't tell you how to live your life. I am not in none of y'all house. I'm not going to instruct you to do anything. But for those who understand and hear what I'm saying, those who say, look, man, I ain't done this single thing. I ain't been single, but all right, that's enough of that. There's some women that's tired of that. There's some men that's tired of that. And that's the people I'm talking to. There's some that want to build a community. They want to build a family. That's people I'm talking to. You want to be out there constantly chasing this one, chasing that one, laying down with this one and that one, people spreading HIV, all kind of disease out here. Like, man, oh my God. Every time I look up, I'm hearing some outbreak or some disease. Man, I'd be scared to be out there. My Lord. I did a video not too long ago with this one sister, matter of fact, gonna be on my other channel, where she was showing that HIV medication costs $5,000 every time you get it if you don't have insurance. And people out here laying down with each other, raw dogging. Y'all don't even have a wrap it up campaign no more. Y'all don't even promote wrapping it up. Y'all don't promote any of that. Everybody just raw dogging out here, and that's why you got all this disease. Forget that. Y'all can have that disease and HIV for what? Man, no. I don't know. No. Who wants that? Male or female? Who wants that? No, the fact is, like I say, people have gotten away from God. That's all it is to it. You say it's like a burning bush out here? Yeah. Like I say, I'm going to tell a man this. If you meet a woman and you really think, she's a good woman, don't play games. Don't play games with her. Jump on her if you got a chance. Don't say, oh, well, later. Don't do that. You don't meet too many good ones. Same thing with women. If he a good man, don't be thinking you got options. He may not be perfect, but if he a good man, you know you're a good man. All the way around, you know he good. Don't play that game. I don't feel like it right now. Okay. All right. Because one thing I've learned over the years, women and men, probably more women, have way more options, I'm going to say, than men have. And guys want to marry them or whatever. And they all talk about, this guy wanted to marry me. And this guy wanted to marry me, and I didn't want to because I felt I was too young. I was too this, that. And now I'm 34, and I think about that. And I saw that guy on Facebook, and he married with kids. That other guy married. I said, okay, and maybe that probably should have been you. Just saying. But do y'all? But like I said, y'all gonna have to work together. Get these politicians in line. Push for universal health care, universal child care. You got to have that. Definitely raise up that minimum wage. You got to have that too. Nobody can even be making $7.25 an hour. That's not gonna work. But I tell you what, one thing about the immigrants, people talk about them. They say, oh, they live 8 to a house. Maybe they do. But you know what? If 8 people are working together in one house, that's how they make it. You can criticize it, but that's how they do it. See, the immigrants don't be starving out here. I'm going to be honest with you. They ain't starving. They get every program they can get now. Don't get me wrong. They get all kind of programs. But they all living in one house. So we can't do that. Oh, no, we fight to each other too much for that. So that's why I say men and women got to get together, make relationships, get married, not situationships, not out here cheating, not beating, not all of that. Just loving relationships, raise our children together in a stable household and work together like grandma and grandpa used to do. You're not better than grandma and grandpa. I tell all y'all that because you hadn't proved that. Grandma and grandpa had a house. They didn't stay in an apartment. All my grandmother and grandfathers had houses. None of them was in a project or none of that. All of them had good, decent jobs, pensions, all of that. My great grandfather was a Methodist preacher on top of what he did for a living. So I'm telling you, I have not seen black men not take care of a family. I haven't seen black men beating on women or cheating. I haven't seen grandma half naked or disrespectful. I ain't seen none of that growing up. With great grandma, great great grandma, great grandpa, I haven't seen none of that. So when people talk about black people, to me, what I think is what I've seen in my own family, and even some other family members that we've had, or even friends of the family. So I know how black people can be, and I won't accept what I see today as the norm, but that's not the norm for our people. That's not the norm. You got more education today and all of that, but you don't have nothing. You don't have anything. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Make sure you check out LaSherica on AfroWire AI. You can click